It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my ups and downs.
Good morning and welcome to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan. It's great to have you with us here on the show this morning. We're hoping that you're having a beginning of a great weekend. We've got a great show lined up for you today. Some topics that I think are going to be real interesting. A little bit later on in the show, we're going to be going through a story talking about the people at the Occupy Wall Street movement out in New York. What they want to do now, they say they've come up with a plan now on how to get people to have their debt forgiven so that they can kind of start all over again. Do they have a model that'll be successful and will work around the country? Well, we'll take a look at that and see. We're also going to be taking a look at the state of Washington because in the state of Washington, there was a Superior Court that was haggling over the words repair versus capital improvement. And is that a big deal? Is there a big difference between the two? Well, if you're in a homeowners association, it could be, and we're going to deal with that in just a little bit. We, of course, are broadcasting from the Natural Green Lawn and Landscape Studios. Remember, Natural Green is a locally owned and operated lawn and landscape care company. Their mission is to use the most environmentally sensitive products available to keep your lawn and landscape looking lush, beautiful, while still healthy for both people and pets. Whether you choose their organic program or their traditional program, rest assured they're always using horticulturally sound principles for some great results. Give them a call. Their number 763-213-2410. We're, of course, also brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. Well, without further ado, let's begin with our first story in property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Home Furniture and Abbey Floor Coverings. Their showrooms are staffed with professionals who will help you choose what you need to fit both your lifestyle and budget. Whatever you need, chances are they have what you're looking for. Now, if you wish to avail yourself of some special pricing and discounts you're not going to find anywhere else, all Where You Live listeners can call Customer Service Coordinator Lori Matson at 952-224-2663. That number again, 952-224-2663, and ask for your Where You Live special pricing. Well, let's begin with our first story, and this is dealing with something that we've covered on the show before. If you remember, there's been a rental scheme that's gone on over the last couple years where because of the number of homes that have gone into foreclosure and have been vacated, there are people who have been saying that they own the property and have put people in the home, collected first month's rent, a security deposit, and then walked away never to be seen again. And then, of course, these people are found to be squatters a little bit later and kicked out of the property. Our first story comes out of Riverdale, California, and it's entitled Squatter or Victim, Attorney Has His Day in Court. And we're going to go through the facts here, folks, and you tell me whether or not you think this person is a squatter or is this person a victim. Who is the person that is claiming to be the victim? It begins by saying a Beverly Hills lawyer. Now, I don't know about you, but aren't there certain stereotypes and certain things that come to your mind when you hear certain words? And when I hear the words together, Beverly Hills and lawyer, I don't think of someone who's down out on their luck. I don't think of someone who is without money. I don't think of someone who is being taken advantage of. I think the other way around, that person's more of the wolf than the sheep. But he was accused of squatting in a home, and that he returned later to vandalize the home after being evicted. He says he is the victim in the case. His name is Joseph Scalafani, and in Superior Court in Riverside last week, he was heard on preliminary hearing on charges of burglary and felony vandalism that stem from him living in a home back about a year ago in 2011 that had been a vacant home on Roundleaf Road. He has pleaded not guilty. Now, the people who have filed a lawsuit against Scalafani is the Celebration Homes Homeowner Association, the HOA. The board president, Robin Gilbert, and others, they said that they have been seeing this gentleman, Scalafani, and that they had him evicted on what they said he was just squatting in the home. Scalafani said that they are guilty of wrongful eviction, grand theft, and criminal threats, and intentional infliction of emotional distress against him. Scalafani, throughout all of this, cites that he said he had a heart attack, and because of that, he never served the legal papers on the defendants to have a countersuit against the Homeowners Association, and of course that suit was dismissed. It says that it looks to me that Mr. Scalafani thought he was legitimately renting a property from someone who, as it turned out, might not have the authority to rent the property, said Mr. Scalafani's attorney, public defender Melissa Hale. Now, that's key. Now, remember, the reason you have a public defender is because you have no money and you can't afford representation. The other reason you end up having a public defender, and this is also key, is because something moves out of being a civil lawsuit to a criminal one. A civil lawsuit, of course, is when two individuals have a disagreement with each other, and so they're going to have their day in court, and a judge is going to decide. When it's a criminal matter, it's out of a individual's hands, and that's when the city, the state, the federal government comes in, and they feel that there has been enough evidence to show that what this person has done is wrong, has been wrong, and therefore needs to be prosecuted. That's what we're dealing with here. That's why the public defender was assigned to Mr. Scalafani. So at first blush here, squatter, victim, I think it looks like it's more like a squatter. But let's go on with the story here. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It says that Scalafani, who went to court this last week on charges of burglary and felony and vandalism, is also scheduled, interesting enough, to have other hearings on charges of being under the influence of a controlled substance and driving with a suspended license. Well, again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but let's take a look. Squatter or victim? You kind of lose some of your credibility, I think, when you've got these other issues added on. And this was all from the state of California against Mr. Scalafani just from the get-go. So it's not looking too good for Mr. Scalafani right here at this point. It was interesting. Apparently, there is an attorney for the city, Mr. Gilbert, who said that there were attempts to have Mr. Scalafani removed from the residence. They were unsuccessful. Why? Because initially, Mr. Scalafani was able to produce what looked like a renter's agreement, and that's why there was the issue of, maybe he wasn't squatting, maybe he was taken advantage of by someone else with this rental scheme that we've seen over and over again. However, that was later found out that rental agreement was one that was a false agreement, one put together by Mr. Scalafani with the name of someone who does not exist, and no money could be shown changing hands for rent. But you know what? That's not all. There is so much more that we want to talk about this case of squatter or victim, but we need to take a break right now, so let's do that. Don't go away. There's a lot more of Where You Live, but after these messages.